Coming up on News Live at 6, the Police Athletic League is shifting their focus. Caleb Plank will tell us how the police are supporting kids reading.
Plus, St. Patrick's Day is getting closer. How Syracuse locals are celebrating.
Live at 6 starts right now.
This is Citrus TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Hello and welcome to News Live at 6 for this Monday. I'm Max Williams.
And I'm Maria Achkar. Literacy levels here in Syracuse are a problem, and the Syracuse Police Athletic League is working to change that.
Yeah, that's right. Citrus TV reporter Caleb Plank saw how the league is helping Syracuse youth.
The Police Athletics League, also known as PAL, builds the bridge between citizens and police officers. Their many programs offer kids the chance to grow and learn in safe environments.
Connecting kids, cops, and communities so that they build positive, intentional relationships. The different partnerships, Syracuse University, the Syracuse City School District, businesses, individuals have all contributed to this mission because people in the city of Syracuse and surrounding areas want to have better relationships with law enforcement, and I believe our law enforcement wants to have better relationships.
In an effort to combat low reading and writing levels in Syracuse, PAL's Literacy League program begins March 3rd.
I like to put things into action. And so if the city as a whole was saying that literacy was an issue, our kids are struggling, they're not meeting it, that's how we started.
Part of PAL's goal is to create well-balanced individuals, exposing kids to the STEM, sports, and arts, among other fields.
The sport is the carrot for the kids. So we try to use the sport to get the kids to get those other things, as you say, i.e. getting on reading and math and getting them on level for those things. Also, the bigger piece with PAL too is that it's developing the kids. So when they get to high school, they already have this baseline that can be used, you know, as whether it's academics or athletic stuff. I mean, academic and athletic. So I think those are the key components to it.
PAL allows for every kid to dream and succeed in life.
We want to really show our kids in the city that they can do anything they put their mind to, and we're going to put the right people in front of them. We're going to be consistent, and we're going to be intentional.
Reporting for Citrus TV News, I'm Caleb Plank.
Caleb, thank you. So important for those kids. All right, the Whitman School is launching a new summer business academy for non-business majors at SU. Students can complete 5 of the 6 required classes for a business minor at a cheaper cost. The final requirement for the minor can be completed anytime during the academic year, including at some Syracuse Abroad locations. The application deadline for this year's academy is April 15th.
And Syracuse Stage is performing a play starring LeBron James, kind of. The production King James is coming to the stage Wednesday. It focuses on 2 friends whose lives are set to be changed when James is drafted to Cleveland. The show will run until March 16th in the Archbold Theater. Tickets start at $30 with discounts available for students and groups.
Well, it's time to iron your Kiss Me, I'm Irish shirt and dig out your green socks because the 62nd annual Green Beer Sunday has just kicked off the St. Patrick's Day holiday. Our Ben Bassick visited the West Side to learn more about the iconic family and community behind this beloved tradition.
The songs, dances, and drinks of the Emerald Isle always find their way to Lowell Street.
Every year, hundreds of people flood Tip Hill trying to get a pint of green beer. But today's about more than just drinks, it's about the community.
The Coleman family has been tapping into Tipperary Hill's Celtic roots for over 90 years. The founder's niece, Peg, says their impact reaches far past the tap room.
My Uncle Peter, God rest his soul, was such an amazing entrepreneur that he invented Green Beer Day to bring people in the last Sunday of February to get ready for St. Patrick's Day month. Well, I'm really proud of my family. Uncle Peter and Aunt Mary Pat did a lot to buy up and fix up houses and to have affordable housing here for people.
The current manager of Coleman's Irish Pub, Dennis, picked up the torch after his father's passing 4 years ago.
Just trying to make Dad proud, you know, for sure. So we're gonna keep it going. We've been doing this for over 60 years. Everybody comes. Everybody who's looking for a good time comes out for Green Beer Sunday. Bigger and better every year.
Cade Milafocha, an Irish expression meaning 1,000 welcomes, is engraved beside Tip Hill's stone-throwing statue, just one part of Peter's enduring legacy.
My brother's the Grand Marshal. He lives a few streets over, and I also just moved into this neighborhood. I feel at home. This neighborhood is such a great community.
I've never felt so a part of a community since we started doing this every year for the last 15 years.
Happy to have this all guy this year.
Yeah.
It's an amazing parade. People bring their kids. You see Irish sweaters, all kinds of green. It's just an awesome day.
Reporting from Tipperary Hill, Ben Bassick, Citrus TV News.
Ben Bassick, thank you so much. Just such a fun day yesterday. I know we were there yesterday having some fun. So,
yeah. The parade was amazing, and then just the atmosphere. Yeah. Everybody was wearing green, and it's very evident that in Central New York, people love to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, including Max and me. Well, yesterday was actually pretty cloudy, and it was still cold.
Yes.
But I think it could have been colder. But my question is, are we going to be feeling these spring temperatures anytime soon?
It was pretty warm today.
It was. It wasn't bad. Well, in Central New York here, we say that 35 degrees is warm because we've been dealing with negative temperatures. But our Riley Faye's in studio here to tell us more on if we're going to be feeling these spring temperatures. Riley, good evening.
Yeah, thanks, Max Marie. I'm definitely glad that it didn't snow or rain yesterday at Green Beer Sunday, but you're right, it was pretty chilly. Today, a lot of people are saying it feels much warmer, especially when you're walking around campus from class to class. It's currently about 46 degrees outside with a feels like temperature of 39, so it's still pretty chilly, but definitely compared to what we had like last week when it was in the teens and snowing and we had all that lake effect weather, it's definitely much nicer. So you still have to bundle up in a jacket, but you maybe don't need the scarf and the gloves. Looking at tonight, it's going to dip down, but just by 3 degrees. It's going to be about 43 degrees throughout the night with a feels like temperature of 36. Now, it is getting warmer, I guess you could say, if you call in the 40s warmer, but those wind gusts in the teens are making it feel a little bit chilly. But I'll have more in tomorrow's weather and later in the week, later in the show. Back to you guys.
Riley, thank you so much. Well, Black History Month is starting to come to an end, but that doesn't stop the African American community in Syracuse from honoring their ancestors. Our reporter Vanessa Shimoni has more on how locals are taking time this February to celebrate and honor their roots.
The Black Artists Initiative in downtown Syracuse hosted their 6th annual Blues on the Boulevard this Saturday, taking time to feature all sorts of Black creativity in the area. The night started with a mix of different artists, vendors, and designers selling their work and sharing why the event matters to them, one of them being an SU art teacher himself. Jaleel Campbell explains how people coming to the event makes all the difference.
I'm just so excited, and I know that today this is actually a fundraiser for the Black Artists Collective because we're trying to raise $35,000 by the end of the year, and I think that we're off to a great start.
Now, the traditions don't just stop at the art and the retail. Plenty of music, poetic, and dance performances also took place to end the night. Malachi Simmons, one of the night's singers, shares how he feels about having the opportunity to celebrate his culture.
I enjoyed it because, like, living in Syracuse, I haven't really seen a lot of events going on that had to do with Black History Month. So, like, them asking me to be a part of it, I felt honored. And, just me being here just showed how much I really cared about our community.
Co-founder of Blues on the Boulevard, Shayla, says you don't have to go far to taste another slice of life.
It's really us thinking about how do we pull together and celebrate and think about, particularly in this moment in our political environment, how do we come together as a community? And so that's through arts, that's through recognizing history, that's through community building, friendship building, and bridge building. I'm excited for the community to see that we have a lot of different talent here, right? That we're not a monolith. So we have dancers, we have poetry, we have singers, we have a blues band, of course, that's Blues on the Boulevard. So yeah, I'm really excited for people to see the talent that exists right here.
The event serves as a reminder to remember to broaden your horizons and take a moment to look at the world through a little bit of a different lens. For Citrus TV News, I'm Vanessa Shimoni.
Vanessa, thank you so much. Well, officials are still investigating an inmate's death at an Auburn prison. 61-year-old Jonathan Grant was serving a 34 to 40-year sentence for rape and burglary when he was found unresponsive on Saturday. His death comes as many corrections officers across the state, including ones at Auburn, are on strike. We'll make sure to give you the latest updates when we hear more.
Syracuse Democrats have their next candidate for mayor. Common Council Pat Hogan was endorsed by the city's Democratic Party after a vote from committee members. Deputy Mayor Sharon Owens was second in the voting and plans to challenge Hogan in the June primary. Hogan unsuccessfully ran for mayor in 2013, losing to Stephanie Miner. Hogan has been a Common Councilor for more than 13 years.
And Governor Kathy Hochul is responding to Lieutenant Governor Antonio Delgado's decision to not run for re-election with Hochul. Hochul released a statement saying, quote, "Today, Antonio Delgado finally said out loud what has been obvious for some time. He is simply not interested in doing the job of the Lieutenant Governor of the state of New York," end quote. Delgado and Hochul have been at odds recently. This month, he called on New York Mayor Eric Adams to resign, while Hochul announced she would not use her powers to remove him. Delgado has not ruled out running against Hochul in 2026.
Well, sticking with Governor Kathy Hochul, she announced earlier today a major expansion to the Metro North Railroad's rail car fleet. It will provide a New Haven line service to Penn Station and 4 additional stations in the Bronx. Earlier today, Hochul said, quote, "I am committed to advancing environmentally friendly and clean modes of transportation. That's how we fight the climate crisis," end quote. The upgraded trains will now run on battery and electric power, the first of its kind in North America.
And coming up on News Live at 6, federal workers may bring legal action toward Elon Musk. Why they're suing? That's up next.
Plus, the UN met on the 3rd anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, what they discussed and more after the break. Stay with us.
Welcome to an excellent episode of Live from Studio B.
Watching Citrus TV News live at 6 with Max Williams, Marie Achkar, and Riley Fay. And now, your campus news leader continues.
Welcome back, everyone. Federal workers are suing Elon Musk after he threatened to fire them, demanding federal employees explain their accomplishments. This comes in part of Musk's efforts to downsize the federal government. The Office of Personnel Management, which functions as human resources for the federal government, said employees need to detail 5 things they did last week by the end of the day today.
The lawsuit filed in California is trying to block mass layoffs pursued by Musk and President Donald Trump. Musk posted a statement on X saying, quote, "Those who do not take this email seriously will soon be furthering their career elsewhere," end quote. Thousands of government employees have already been forced to resign or were fired a month since Trump took office.
The UN has refused to approve a U.S.-backed resolution to end the war in Ukraine. The proposed plan would not mention Russia's aggression. Instead, the General Assembly approved a plan demanding Russia immediately withdraw its forces.
And this comes as tensions between the U.S. and Ukraine are rising. Last week, President Trump called Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky a, quote, "dictator without elections," end quote.
Sticking with Ukraine, Syracuse students are showing their support for the country today.
And our reporter Izzy Leibowitz is in studio with the story. Izzy, good evening.
Today on the quad, there was a Ukraine protest because today marks the 3-year anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Individuals passionate about Ukraine and a part of the Ukraine Student Association gathered. Maybe little numbered, but we're definitely not little in heart. Together in support, flags waving and signs up.
Rally have been protesting every single year since 2022 to raise awareness for Ukraine. This year is extremely important because with the new presidency, a lot of people have forgotten about how important American contribution is to Ukrainian freedom.
This happens right before the talk where 3 Ukrainian experts spoke about their views in Ukraine's future, which can be very personal for them, especially with family and loved ones involved.
Need support now more than ever with the current situation, political situation in United States, and I just want to stand for the truth that Ukraine is a democratic country and we want nothing but peace.
They agreed that they weren't a demonstration, they were a rally, and they focused on peace, but weren't unaware of possible DPS involvement. In the end, all they wanted is to get their message across about supporting Ukraine.
And coming up on News Live at 6, I'll have more on the rain you can expect tomorrow. Don't go anywhere.
Jason, let's go see your room.
What do you think? We kept it a little spare so you can decorate it how you like.
Dinner!
Go. Excellent. Soccer is fun. Yeah, I saw you guys out there. We're the family. Yeah! Oh, I thought you were on my team.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Yeah, welcome back. So throughout the week, we're going to kind of stay with the same consecutive weather that we experienced today, just about in the 40s. It's going to dip down later in the week, but tomorrow we're expecting rain from about 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. off and on throughout the day with no precipitation tonight. But throughout the week, it's going to get a little bit chillier as it goes down to about 31 degrees on Friday, or excuse me, 29 is the low, but we won't expect snow until Friday, although we will expect some rain throughout the week, experiencing it about every other day, Tuesday, Thursday, and then Friday with the snow. Tomorrow, though, high of 44 and low of 28. Going into later in the week on Friday, like I said, dipping down to 29, and that's kind of how it's looking all around the region. It's about 45 throughout the region. In the southern places like Ithaca, Binghamton, Elmira, it's getting a little bit warmer, but up north, it's still just in the 40s, so not too bad. Like I said earlier, you just need your winter coat, probably no gloves or hats, which is much nicer, and I'll have more on the rain later in the show. Back to you guys.
Hey, Riley, thanks so much. I'm a fan of those warmer temperatures, I gotta say. Coming up in sports, Syracuse men's lacrosse faced off with a Northeast foe for the first time in 19 years, while the women's squad traveled down to Chapel Hill to open up ACC play. I'll let you know how both the teams fared over the weekend next, so make sure you stick around.
Jason, let's go see your room.
What do you think? We kept it a little spare, so you can decorate it how you like.
Dinner! Go?
Excellent. Soccer is fun. Yeah, I saw you guys out there.
Men's hoops might have had the weekend off, but it was still a busy past couple of days for teams here on the Hill. Welcome into sports. I'm Sam Reis. We'll start things off inside the Dome because that's where then 6th-ranked Syracuse men's lacrosse hosted 15th-ranked Harvard for the first meeting between the teams since 2006. The Orange were aiming to bounce back after a loss to Maryland, and the Crimson hoping for the same after falling at home to Colgate. So let's show you how it all went down inside the Dome back on Saturday. Syracuse undoubtedly the favorite in this game. You see them getting hyped up, and they were cruising early on. This is Sam English with the goal. It was 5-0 Syracuse less than 6 minutes into the game. It seemed like this would be a rout for the Orange, right? Well, hold your horses. Harvard crawled back into this game. That's a Sam King goal late in the second half to make it 10-8 Syracuse. That was the halftime score. We jump ahead to the fourth quarter. What a wraparound goal by Teddy Malone. He had 4 goals in this game. That gave Harvard a 13-12 lead. At this point, 2 minutes left. Owen Hiltz finds Twine to make it a 1-goal Harvard lead. So Syracuse in desperation mode, late stages trying to avoid the upset loss. Billy Dwan trying to clear. Carter Reis, he bobbles the ball, but to the rescue is Sam English. Keep in mind, there were about 10 seconds left here. English rolling down the right sideline. Literally the last chance of the game. Dwan has his shot blocked. The Harvard Crimson beat Syracuse for the first time in program history. This was the 19th all-time meeting. Look what it means to this Harvard team. An absolute stunner over the weekend as Syracuse drops its second consecutive game. And the most baffling thing really about this game is that John Mullen, the faceoff specialist for Syracuse, he won 28 of 31 faceoffs. That's the second most faceoff wins in a game in program history. Yet despite that dominance in the circle, the Orange still fell for the second time in a row. So what did Crimson head coach Jerry Byrne have to say about Cuse after the game?
Back. Like, I know it's not going to be the storyline going forward, but that's a Final Four team.
Well, you heard it right there. Very interesting comments, I must say, from Harvard's headman following a big upset win for his team. But hey, you heard it right there. He still believes the Orange are a Final Four team, even after this weekend's surprising loss for Syracuse. Next up, Syracuse travels out west to face Utah this weekend. Now, a few hours earlier on Saturday, number 4 Syracuse women's lacrosse battled number 2 North Carolina down in Chapel Hill and entered the game with a perfect 3-0 record. Now, unfortunately, a slow start in this one is really what hurt the Orange quite a bit. In a game the Tar Heels won comfortably when all was said and done, 16-8 the final score. UNC outscored SU 8-2 in the opening quarter, and what didn't help was the fact that the Orange found out shortly before opening draw that they would be without leading scorer Olivia Adamson. Syracuse now has to quickly shift focus to tomorrow when it hosts 3rd-ranked Northwestern at 3:30. And just 11 miles from where the women's lacrosse team played UNC is where Syracuse women's basketball faced 11th-ranked Duke at Cameron Indoor yesterday. And in that matinee, it was an ugly game from start to finish for the Orange. SU lost its 4th in a row after yesterday's 80-49 demolition. Now with 2 games left in the regular season, the Cuse currently sit in a 3-way tie for 3rd bottom in the ACC. And next up, they play a team, one of those teams they're tied with
in the Pitt Panthers. That will be on Thursday. So the women's team and the men's hoops team both in danger of missing out on the ACC tournament, guys.
So, I want to bring the focus back to men's basketball
Sure.
for a second. We're playing NC State on Wednesday, and I remember we talked a little bit, and you said there's a chance we could win this. I mean, what do you think that score is going to look like?
I think Syracuse will lose the game, actually.
No, there's no
I'm
way.
very low on Syracuse men's and women's hoops. I hate to be that guy.
You're such a pessimist.
I am, but they've been very bad this season. They didn't play over the weekend. Maybe that extra rest helps. I think they lose a nail-biter by like 2 points.
Okay.
Do you see any of these teams, either lacrosse or basketball, ending off on a hot streak at all?
I could see men's lacrosse. I still have belief in them. This was a surprising loss over the weekend against Harvard. I did not see that coming. They're on a 2-game skid. But you heard the Harvard coach still have a lot of praise for this team. The talent is there for this team to still make a Final Four run at Gillette in May. It's just about putting all the pieces together. The offense has to step up.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, well, Sam, thank you so much. After the break, we'll have one last look at your weather. Stick with us.
Women are bad with money.
It's what the world's been saying for centuries.
But now, we've got something to say. Save it. Save the old-fashioned advice, the empty excuses.
It's all worthless, unlike us.
To our fellow females, it is time to save ourselves by saving our money.
Contributing to our futures, investing in our independence. Until we're no longer 80%
more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement. So again, we say to that, save it.
The falsehoods, the feelings of fault.
Then the funds. Learn how to save for your retirement at wesaysaveit.org.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Welcome back. I mentioned a few times that it's supposed to rain tomorrow, but it's going to depend what time you wake up. This is about 8 a.m. when the rain's going to start, and it'll be about 40 degrees with a feels-like temperature of 36. You definitely want umbrella, rain jacket tomorrow because it's still going to be a little bit cooler, and it's definitely going to be more noticeable with the rain. But with the rain comes a lot of melting of the snow that's currently on the ground. And let's take a look at the temperature specifically throughout the day. It's going to be around 41 to 43 at noon when it warms up a tiny bit, and then go back to 41 in the evening.
I'll make sure I wear my rain jacket. It's supposed to rain all day?
All day. Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
That's brutal.
All right.
I know, I hate that.
Snow's going to melt though.
Yes, that's a good thing.
Some
All right,
grass.
yesterday marked the 31st Screen Actors Guild Awards. The SAG Awards are the last major award show before the Oscars Sunday. Timothée Chalamet won Best Actor for his portrayal of Bob Dylan in the film A Complete Unknown, and Conclave won Best Motion Picture Cast.
Well, that's amazing.
Yes, I know.
That's really exciting. I mean, I don't know. I love Timothée Chalamet personally.
Yeah.
I mean, are you guys excited? The Oscars are coming up.
Yeah.
Who's going to be watching those? I know I will.
I'll definitely be watching. Yeah.
Okay.
Not me.
I love an award show.
I got to find other hobbies outside of sports, so maybe I'll tune in.
So you should watch the Oscars is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I should, but I probably won't.
Okay,
That's
guys,
fair.
Sam
There's
is
probably
watching the
better things to do.
Oscars.
We'll
Well,
get him
anyways,
too.
that's Citrus TV News Live at 6 for this Monday.
Don't forget, you can follow us on X and Instagram at Citrus TV News. Now for the entire Citrus TV News team, I'm Max Williams.
And I'm Maria Achkar. Have a great night, Syracuse.